ad campaign.
I don't know where this is coming from.
Crying is the most basic kind of expression.
Oh, she's perfect.
Hysterically, or with a single tear. Of course, when emotion overflows, we're sometimes judged by others.
Are you crying?
No.
There's no crying in baseball.
So we often endure alone. But if weeping makes you a win, we're all guilty.
Everybody cries.
Dr. Gail Saltz is a Today contributor. Hey, Gail, good morning.
Good
nice
morning,
to see
Matt.
you. Is there a physical reason for crying?
Actually, crying has an evolutionary reason. We are the only mammals that shed tears when we're upset for an emotional reason, and it's probably twofold. It's a form of communication. In other words, it allowed us to bond on a much higher level because you can't really fake tears. You can fake whining and so on, but the actual tears coming down and the muscles associated with it are not under voluntary control, really.
So, but it's hard to really do a lot of science on it, isn't it? Because
Yes.
you can't take people to the breaking point in a laboratory.
You can't put them in a lab and really make them cry tears. So what we can conjecture has a lot to do with, for instance, things that happen naturally. So for instance, we know that crying probably has more to do with calming our bodies down. We think it's, oh, I'm upset, so I cry, but it's actually the aftermath of re-equilibrating your body. The reason we know this is that the sympathetic part of the nervous system, the fright part, when it's damaged, the other half, the part that calms us down after the flight and fright, functions, and that's when we cry.
So is that what puts people over the edge? I mean, going from being just upset to bawling, what is that line?
The line actually is deep in the brain structure, and it is twofold. It is how well you tolerate your emotion. So in other words, when you're sad, when you're upset, how well do you handle that? Do you have other coping skills for that, or does it overwhelm you? And then coming back to a normal state so that you don't basically bust a blood vessel.
You know,
how do you return?
I'm not one of the people who cries when I get upset or angry or really sad. I get upset. I cry when I get happy or when I see something like Muhammad Ali
Correct.
lighting the Olympic torch in Atlanta.
It's
Bald.
it's not just happy, you're touched. And that is a very deep, deep emotion which bespeaks nuance. And that's something that humans do that no one else does. And it draws other people to you. So when you saw Muhammad Ali, other people are like, oh, Matt,
We had a
this
group
says
cry.
something
We did.
yes,
We had a
about
group
you
cry.
that's very meaningful.
According to studies, women cry 5 times more than men. Hormones?
Somewhat, but not entirely. It's partially socially more acceptable, and women are in touch with emotion in a different way from men psychologically. So it's a combination of all those things.
So as a psychiatrist, what about people who never cry?
Yeah, usually that's actually kind of a problem. I mean, there's some people who have a very high threshold, but basically it's someone who's probably repressing their feeling. They won't let themselves be in touch with the bittersweetness of Muhammad Ali lighting the torch. So it's actually a healthy thing to allow yourself to cry. You might want to not do it in every situation, like here now on the show.
Just breaking down, yeah, that would be a problem.
But it's good to let it out.
Gail, thanks very much. We're back after your local news.
First to the